The Milwaukee Bucks are a really weird team to analyze going into the 2024-2025 season because after their championship in 2022, they have been first round exits in each of the past two seasons and they haven't even looked competitive in the playoffs. And yes, was Giannis Antetokounmpo hurt the past couple of years in the playoffs? Of course. But at the same time, they traded for Damian Lillard last offseason as an insurance marker for that very scenario, and they were still eliminated in the first round despite Dame being healthy. And even though Giannis was hurt, he tried to play through it a bit and just wasn't able to fully push through. But Dame is still a superstar level player, and they had a solid roster around him, and it's time to start considering if the Milwaukee Bucks championship window is slowly closing because Giannis is getting up there in age, Dame is older, and Chris Middleton hasn't been able to be that third option they thought he was going to be. He is still a solid player and averaged 15 points per game the past couple of seasons, but during the Bucks championship run, he was averaging 25 and a half and 5.5 and was one of the best defenders in the league, and outside of Giannis, probably the best wing defender on that team. But throughout the past couple of seasons, his defensive abilities have declined. He hasn't been able to play as heavy minutes as he was before, and he hasn't looked like the same player. And Giannis is obviously still going to be Giannis. He's going to be an MVP candidate level player, and he's going to be an all-NBA lock year in and year out for the next few years. But with Damian Lillard, we don't really know what to expect because throughout the past season, he was very inconsistent, and it's the most inconsistent he's looked throughout his entire career. And his stats went way down, and that's obviously because of playing with another superstar level player in Giannis, but even his percentages went way down this past season, and that's concerning for a guy who is already 34 years old and coming into this season is going to turn 35. And Giannis is a player who is very ball dominant, and when you put a guy like Dame who can play a facilitating role but also needs the ball in his hands a lot, when you put the two of them together, I don't know if it works as well as people thought it was going to work, because when Dame doesn't have the ball in his hands all the time and isn't the primary ball handler and facilitator, he struggled last year, if we're being very honest. And his percentages went down from 46.5% from the field to 42.5%, and his three-point percentage went down from 37% to 35.5%, and his assists per game average actually went down from 7.3 to 7.0 despite having better teammates, and he just wasn't as effective as he has been in years past. And we have to really start considering whether Giannis and Dame is the duo that can take the Bucks to another championship, because at the end of the day, this league is very results driven, and they have not been able to produce results. And yes, they only had one season together so far, but Dame didn't look like the same player that he has been in the past, and Chris Middleton hasn't looked like the same player he has in the past. And even Giannis has struggled to stay healthy the past couple of seasons, especially when it comes to playoff time. And Brook Lopez is getting older, and while he is still a solid player and a good shooter, he is getting older, and they only have a couple of years left of him. And they did make a really good signing in Gary Trent Jr. to run the other guard spot beside Damian Lillard, and their bench is okay with DeLon Wright as their backup point guard, Taurean Prince and Bobby Portis as their backup forwards, and Pat Connaughton is a solid other guard off the bench. But their bench is really lacking that guy who's going to come and just give buckets like Jordan Poole was in that 2022 championship run for the Golden State Warriors. And it's really concerning for the Bucks that they have two superstars that they are relying on to take them to a deep playoff run, but one of their superstars isn't performing, and the rest of their team took a step back last year. And maybe it was just a transition year, but we really have to think, is Giannis and Dame the duo that's going to get it done for the Bucks in the playoffs? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. But we also have to consider the fact that the Eastern Conference got better. The Knicks got a lot better. The 76ers got better. The Boston Celtics just lost only 2 games going to the NBA Finals. And this is a team in Milwaukee that didn't get much better this offseason other than picking up Gary Trent. And they might have even got worse. But we have to think about it as they might be the 4th best team, even the 5th best team in the Eastern Conference when they're healthy. And it's been hard for them to stay healthy the past couple of seasons. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. God bless you all. I hope you have an amazing day. And make sure to subscribe to the channel. God bless.